A very good morning to all. Welcome to the webinar on Enhanced VMware Backup and Replication with Vembu VMBackup version 3.5. My name is Manoj and I'm here part of Sales Engineering with Vembu Technologies. I'll be hosting today's session. I see the attendees are quickly trying to join the session, so let's wait for a minute for everyone to get joined, and then we can go ahead and get started. Thank you. Hope all the attendees have joined, so we can go ahead and get started. To start with, let's have a quick intro on the company profile. Vembu Technologies is founded in the year 2004. We are a private company, profitable since 2006. We have 4,000 plus channel partners and we reached more than 60,000 businesses so far. We are headquartered in Chennai, India. 70% of our customers are from North America, 20% from Europe, and the rest 10% from Asia Pacific regions. Vembu VDR Suite is a one-stop solution for all your backup and disaster recovery needs, categorizing every requirement of small and medium-sized businesses. It has a group of products bundled together, and they are Vembu VMBackup for the backup and replication of VMware and Hyper-V, Vembu Image Backup for the backup and bare metal recovery for physical Windows servers and desktops, Vembu Network Backup, a backup solution for file folder level and application level backup for applications like Microsoft Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Active Directory, Outlook, MySQL, etc. Vembu Online Backup is purely a cloud-based solution where you can directly back up to our cloud, Vembu Cloud. And using online backup, you can do file folder level and application level backups. And Vembu SaaS Backup is a backup solution for SaaS applications like Office 365 and Google Apps. And adding to those products, we do have some add-on products, and they are Vembu Offsite DR. It's an add-on service to Vembu VDR Backup Server, where the Vembu Offsite DR enables you to replicate or keep an additional data copy to a remote data center, or that could be a remote SAN and NAS or whatever. And Vembu Cloud DR helps you to set up a hybrid cloud environment where you can replicate the additional data copy to our cloud, Vembu Cloud. So in case of a disaster, you can directly perform a recovery from the Vembu Cloud. And Vembu VDR 360 helps you to do a 24/7 monitoring and manageability of all your VDR backup server environments. So using this single pane of glass, you can simply monitor your multiple VDR servers from one single centralized console. And Vembu Universal Explorer is an agentless software which helps you to do a granular recovery of applications like Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, and Active Directory. So from the image level backup, you can even do a granular level restore of applications with this utility. Why we need Vembu VM Backup? Backing up virtual environments typically become more expensive and even difficult to manage. And as we all know, it requires fundamentally a different approach. So Vembu VM Backup is exclusively designed for virtual environments like VMware vSphere and Microsoft Hyper-V by the experts in the industry. It actually fills the purpose here with the best breed of technology that is providing a manageable solution in an affordable cost for both VMware vSphere and Microsoft Hyper-V virtual machines, which is not only performing the regular backup, it also ensures that it is backing up the applications that reside inside the virtual machines are backed up intact, and it also offers an option to perform an optional cloud disaster recovery. So to discuss deep about backup and disaster recovery, we need an understanding of what is an RTO and RPO. Recovery time objective RTO is nothing but the time taken to recover a physical or a virtual machine after the disaster. So Vembu offers the industry's best RTO, which is less than 15 minutes, and this can be achieved by the instant virtual machine recovery, instant file level recovery, or instant application level recovery for Exchange, SQL, SharePoint available in the product. RPO is recovery point objective, is nothing but up to which point we can recover a machine after the disaster. Vembu offers near continuous data production without affecting the production data center, where it has an automated backup and replication scheduling, and the backup frequency starts from every 15 minutes. So by this you can achieve an assured RPO of less than 15 minutes at any point of time. So at any point of time, the backed up data should be recoverable. If not, the backups are worthless. We have come across several scenarios where when performing a disaster recovery, the administrator will realize that the actual backed up data is corrupted and eventually they end up in data loss. To avoid such scenarios, we have integrated a feature called backup verification, such that the post completion of the backup schedule or once in a day, an automated check runs on the backup server where all the backed up virtual machines will be automatically booted up and the boot screen will be captured as a screenshot, and those screenshots will be mailed to the administrators. So as an administrator, you can simply take a look at the screenshot and you can ensure that all the backed up machines are bootable, good to go at any point of time. Adding to that, Vembu has an efficient storage management system where we have developed our own file system called Vembu Hive. It's a file system designed effectively to manage the storage repositories, and it is an cloud-based file system designed to manage large-scale backup and disaster recovery applications with support for advanced use cases. So Vembu Hive can be simply said as a file system of file systems, where it supports it can be easily integrated in any type of storage, just like SAN or NAS or directly attached storage. You can automatically scale up or scale out the storage drives. It has an inbuilt version control, error correction, compression, deduplication, and an encryption integrated in it. And there has been several needs for migration between the physical to virtual, virtual to physical, or between hybrid virtual environments like VMware to Hyper-V or vice versa. Vembu has a built-in solution for all your migration plans, such that it supports instant creation of the VMTK, VHD, and RAW files of the backed up physical or virtual machine, so that you can simply start performing the P2V, V2P, or V2V migrations using the application. So this is the architecture of Vembu VMBackup, and the most important software component is the Vembu VDR backup server, where you have the actual storage connected. Vembu VMBackup is a proxy that communicates with the VMware Hyper-V. So this will actually read the information, encrypts, compress, and it sends the data to VDR server. And from there, you have an option to replicate to an offsite data center using offsite DR. Or also you can even replicate the data to Vembu Cloud, our cloud, using Cloud DR. So Vembu portal is where you can manage all your licenses, and whenever a BDR server is registered with portal, all the licenses to the server will be supplied from your Vembu portal account. So to speak more about the VMware backup and replication using Vembu VMBackup, backup of multiple VMs in a single backup job, or an option to create multiple backup jobs with a group of VMs, is available. It supports VMBackup supports VMware ESXi hosts and vCenter servers, and it supports ESXi version 4.0 and above. It also supports vCenter server version 4.1 and above. IP and network remapping support for the replicated virtual machines is also available in the Vembu VMBackup. So this is the precise architecture of how the Vembu VMware backup and replication works. As you could see from the Vembu VDR backup server console itself, you can directly add a VMware ESXi host or vCenter, since it's purely an agentless. So once it is added, the VMBackup agent is like a proxy. It will just communicate with the VMware ESXi server, and it will actually read the data and sends the data to the Vembu VDR backup server. So the data will be encrypted and compressed on the fly. Only the compressed, deduped, encrypted data will be stored in the storage repository. So the Vembu VMBackup client agent transfers the VM data through different modes, and depending upon the agent installation and the VMware environment, the VMBackup client automatically chooses any one of the following transport modes. The various transport modes available are direct SAN mode, hot add mode, and network mode. And you do also have an option to configure the VMBackup client to use any one of the above modes permanently. You can do this configuration manually, otherwise it will choose automatically depending upon the deployment method. So the direct SAN mode is the Vembu VMBackup agent will have access to the direct SAN where the actual virtual machines are stored. The VMBackup client reads the data which needs to be backed up from the SAN, and it sends to the Vembu VDR backup server storage repository. However, in the hot add mode, the The Vembu VMBackup client is installed in any one of the virtual machines within the network, and so once when you enable the hot add mode, the virtual disks of the virtual machines to be backed up will be attached to the VMBackup client virtual machine. So the client will directly read the attached disk and sends the backed up data to the Vembu media storage repository. In network transport mode, the agent can be installed inside the virtual machines, or it could be on a physical machines wherever it may be, and the ESXi server is accessed by the Vembu VMBackup client over the network. It reads the information and sends the data to the Vembu VDR server storage repository using the TCP/IP connection. So the data transfer speed will be a little bit lower than the other two methods when it is compared with the network transport mode. So these are all the various deployment scenarios. Includes the on-premise deployment, where you can directly have the Vembu VDR server installed on the client side where it has to be backed up, and you can directly add the VMware ESXi server credentials on the VDR server itself and configure the backup using the VMware Backup server graphical user interface or the web console. So you don't need to have a dedicated agent to configure the backup, as configuring the backup, recovery, management, everything can be managed from the VMware Backup server console itself. So when it comes to distributed deployment, let's say if you are running several VMware environments with several ESXi servers and vCenters, if you are unable to manage it everything from the single Vembu VMware Backup server console, you can have dedicated VM backup agents installed inside the ESXi for each ESXi servers. So you can simply configure the backups of the respective VMware environment using the respective Vembu VM backup agent console, such that you will have a better manageability towards backup configuring of multiple environments. So this is the hybrid deployment scenario where the data from the VMware will be backed up to the Vembu VMware Backup server. From there, optionally it is replicated to our cloud, Vembu Cloud, using the cloud here. So in case of a disaster, you can directly perform a recovery from the Vembu Cloud. So this is the next deployment scenario where the data from the VMware is backed up to the Vembu VDR server, and it will be replicated to a remote data center using the Vembu offsite DR. So you can directly perform the recovery from your remote data center where all the data is being replicated using the offsite DR server. So these are all the features that actually these are all the high-level features that explains about how the VMware backup happens with the Vembu VMBackup version 3.5. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how the Vembu VDR version 3.5 console looks like and how you can configure the backups where you can ensure the RPO and RTO of the backup. So this is the single standardized, single standalone protected console of Vembu VDR Suite version 3.5. Let's say if you want to configure a backup of a VMware ESXi server or the vCenter, go navigate to the backup and select VMware vSphere. So once when you select VMware vSphere, you do have an option to add the VMware server here by clicking on Add VMware vSphere Server. So this is where you need to enter the hostname or IP address of the ESXi server and the user access credentials to access it. So once when it is added, it will just go ahead and list on the VMware backup configuration page itself. So what I have done is I have already added one from my test bed. So let's say if I want to back up the virtual machines from this ESXi server, I'll go ahead and click backup now. Now this will pop up the list of virtual machines available on the ESXi server. So you can just go ahead and pick what are all the VMs you want to back it up and click next. So this is where you ensure the RPO of the backup. The backup, as I mentioned during the presentation, the backup frequency start from every 15 minutes. So you can choose how frequently you want to run the backup and then select the retention policy. It is where you can ensure the RTO of the backup where you can just select how many version of the backup you want to retain. You can even do to a maximum of 99, and all these backups are application aware. Let's see if the backing up virtual machine has an Exchange or SQL SharePoint running inside it. Once when you enable the application aware option, so whenever it triggers a backup, it will just go ahead and check the consistency of all the applications running inside the virtual machine. And let's say if the applications are not consistent, it will wait for the application to be back on track and then performs the backup. So by this way you can ensure that you are not only backing up the virtual machine, but also you are backing up the applications running inside the virtual machines intact. And you do have an option to truncate the transaction logs of the applications by enabling this option. So once when the retention is configured, you can simply navigate, you can review the configurations you have made for this backup job. You can simply add a backup name and you can start performing the backup. So this is a simple wizard where you can just go ahead and start running the VMware backup from the VMware server console itself. So there is a 30 days of full feature trial available in the product. So what we recommend is like you directly give it a try by downloading the trial from our website, and what we can say is like you'll feel more comfortable when you have your hands on into the product. So in case of any questions, the session is recorded. If you want a recorded copy of the session, or if you got any questions, just feel free to send us an email to vembu-support@vembu.com, or you can also email our sales desk at vembu-sales@vembu.com, or you can even directly call us at the numbers listed on the screen. And once again, I would like to thank you all for joining this session, and have a wonderful day.